Alright, let's talk about the second episode of Star Wars Vision Season 2, Screecher's Reach. Now, there are spoilers ahead, so if you haven't watched it, go watch it and come back. Now, going into this, I expected amazing things, because this is Cartoon Saloon, the studio behind The Wolfwalkers and The Breadwinner. Two really great films, and they've done a lot of other films. But I wasn't expecting this episode to have the biggest gut punch out of all these shorts. So to quickly recap, we have the story of Dal, this girl who's living in a workhouse. She has these friends, but she wants to escape. It's kind of like the classic hero's journey. She's in this boring, monotonous life and just wants to go out into the great unknown. Except for, this is like a sick, twisted version of that. And it doesn't even start out like that. She's in a terrible place and she just wants to get out, just live a better life. Everyone can probably empathize with that. She's holding up this medallion in her hand saying she wants to go to Screecher's Reach, this old ghost haunting this cave quite a while away. So she and her friends, they go traveling the lands, stealing a bike and escaping the workhouse. And something we see here is some really great dialogue for these kids. Most of the time when you have kids, and especially kid actors, it can come off as kind of really obvious as just written by an adult. But the dialogue here shown, and the acting presented by the children, is really well done. Like, I work with children, I know how they talk and everything, and it seems really genuine. So we get to Screecher's Reach, they get into the cave, and something I really enjoyed here is the lighting. It's just fantastic, look at that. Having really darks, really brights, and especially in this horror setting, I think that really amplifies it. So they find the ghost, and Dal gets separated from the rest of her friends. They escape from the cave, but she's stuck in. And the animation of this ghost, I think, especially in this folklore setting, is really well done. Like, it is shadowy, it is harsh, it is rough, it is just like shadows and your worst imagination just come to life. So the way they portrayed this ghost is really well done. And of course, because it's Star Wars, we find out this ghost is probably a Sith, has a red lightsaber, scaring Dal. Because, Dal, at this point in time, just thinks, oh yeah, it's just something in my mind. And again, we go back to the medallion. She's whispering to the medallion, trying to prove to herself that she can do this. She can defeat this ghost. But when the red lights comes out, she's just like, oh shit. She tries to escape and then ends up using the Force to push a rock on this ghost. Where we see, that this ghost isn't actually a ghost. It's just some old woman who, is a Sith, but still is an old woman, and Dal uses the lightsaber to kill this Sith. So Dal gets out, gets to her friend, she's really weepy, she's sad, saying she had to kill her. And this is the point where I'm like, this feels off. Like, yes, she's a kid, and she did kill someone. Obviously she's going to be feeling sad, but usually in these sorts of stories, it's a bit more heroic. But just something about the way she's expressing herself just really felt off. That she holds up the medallion and it glows red. And then I'm like, well shit, she's being controlled by the dark side. And then this massive ship comes out from the skies. This very pure looking Sith comes down and just says, oh yeah, I'm come to take you, Dal. You're my new Sith apprentice. With this big gut punch of a twist, Dal just goes back to her friends and twists the words of saying, hey, don't look back, right? All tearfully, and then she's taken away by the Sith. Or dark side user, whatever you want to call it. And this story of Dal just being essentially groomed and manipulated by this dark side user through this medallion, telling her, oh yeah, defeat this danger and then you can come with me. Very much like an origin story for a hero, but it's just twisted on its head, where she's essentially an agent of the dark side. So the reveal that happens is just, I definitely didn't see that coming. And it was so perfectly executed. Like, if going back, you can see the foreshadowing in it, especially with the very somber overtones and everything. What a great twist. And let's talk about the art style, because honestly, the art style just perfectly complements this. It is drawn very much like previous Cartoon Saloon shorts, very stylized and very unique to them, very much looking like a fairy tale, which is heavily juxtaposed by how dark this film is, like the workhouse, Screecher's Reach, being taken away. Those aren't your classic fairy tale things. Like, yeah, I know classic fairy tales and folklore is very dark, but presented in this way, I just feel there's a bit of juxtaposition that works really well together. Also, I have a headcanon. That medallion that Dal is wearing looks eerily similar to this Night Sister medallion that I got in this special edition of the Book of Sith. My guess is that that Sith is actually, a Night Sister. Maybe she could be a Sith, but she definitely could be a Night Sister. Like, look at Asajj Ventress, look at Merrin, they're all pale and everything. So it definitely could be a Night Sister essentially kidnapping this child. Surprised it isn't on Dathomir, but still. Anyway, let me know what you thought of the short below, and until next time, when the adventure continues.